In the kingdom of Arden, the dragon had been terrorizing the land for years. Villagers lived in constant fear of its fiery breath and razor-sharp claws. Despite their bravery, no one had ever been able to defeat the dragon. One day, a young farmhand named Jack heard about a legendary sword that was said to be the only weapon capable of killing the dragon. Determined to save his home, Jack set out on a quest to find the sword. He journeyed through treacherous forests, crossed raging rivers, and braved snow-capped mountains, all the while searching for the sword. Many told him it was a myth, a fairy tale, and that he was wasting his time, but Jack was resolute in his quest. Finally, after many weeks of travel, Jack came across an old hermit who lived in a cave at the foot of a mountain. The hermit told Jack that he was the keeper of the sword and that Jack would only be able to claim it if he proved himself worthy. The hermit then set Jack a series of tasks, each one more difficult than the last. Jack performed each task with determination and skill, and finally, the hermit was impressed enough to hand over the sword. With the sword in hand, Jack made his way back to Arden. The villagers were stunned to see him walking towards the dragon's lair, armed with only a sword. But Jack was not afraid. He stepped forward, and the dragon roared, flames shooting from its mouth. In a fierce battle, Jack used the sword to parry the dragon's claws and dodge its fiery breath. He struck the dragon with the sword, and it let out a final roar before collapsing to the ground. The villagers cheered and celebrated their newfound peace, and Jack was hailed as a hero. From that day on, the kingdom of Arden was free from the dragon's terror, and Jack lived the rest of his life in peace, knowing he had saved his home. Years later, the story of Jack and the dragon was told and retold, becoming a legend passed down from generation to generation. And every time it was told, the people of Arden would remember the bravery of the young farmhand who had set out on a quest to save his home, armed with only a sword, and his determination.